There we go. Here's a fish. Nice. He smashed that. I was gonna lose him. Go. He's got an injury down that one side of him. Looks like a heron or something trying to grab him. There you go. Pretty little fish. Get him back in the water. There we go. Fish on. Nice. Now, one of the reasons I really prefer fishing from a kayak over a belly boat is that overall it's a lot more comfortable. There's a lot more storage space. I can stay drier. And another thing is I can cover a lot more water efficiently. And it tends to get really windy here in the Columbia Basin where I do a lot of fishing. And when you're in a little belly boat or pontoon, you really are at the mercy of the wind. But in a kayak, you can go out, fight the wind, you can get to the other end of the lake, which isn't as pressured, and get on more fish. Pretty little rainbow. Alright, this one is. Now, just like belly boats and pontoons, we have the same line management issues in kayaks as they do, which limits casting distance and can just make it overall a lot more challenging. So, just like pontoon anglers, I do employ trolling quite a bit. Trolling allows me to fish a lot of different depths. So like today I'm using a full sink line because we're just transitioning into fall. And that allows me to get down there and cover a lot of water really quickly. It's really effective. And in these Old Town kayaks with the hands-free reverse, I control in reverse, lock my rudder in with this rudder tension knob. And it makes it super easy to cover a lot of water. Kind of make a couple passes around the lake and find where the fish are concentrated before I might settle into a cast and strip pattern. Pretty little rainbow. There he goes. So today I'm using this booby fly. It's a great name. See, it has those two little foam eyes there that float it, and then it usually has a marabou body. And what makes that nice is that allows me to fish this full sink line. So this full sink line takes it down. I'm trolling over these weed beds, and that full sink line can drag across the top of the weed beds, but that float on that booby lifts it up just above those weeds, and then I can pulse it a little bit, or if I'm using the reverse drive on my PDL drive here on the kayak, I can pulse it, and that creates a lot of action. And those fish just absolutely love these booby flies. They're a really excellent technique when you're fishing a full sink line, when you're slow trolling like I'm doing today. So with those boobies, like I said, you can strip and let it fall back out. even add action if you want. Or if you're using a hands-free kayak like I am today, then you can just speed this up and then slow it down. Speed it up, slow it down. Oops, there you go. Look at that. I love that action. Perfect. I love it when the fish cooperate and illustrate what I'm trying to say. This feels like it's got some weight to it. So I'm just using a 5-weight here. 5s and 6s are my favorite for most of our trout fisheries. There we go. Oh, that's a beautiful fish. Great color on this fish. Now, one of the things I struggled with in the beginning, and I'll be the first to admit, is I just cannot double haul cast on a kayak. And so my casting distance is severely limited. One of the ways I initially got around that was I would use a 10-foot rod, because I like to fish, even though I can stand in this kayak. I started out in kayaks I couldn't stand in. And on my casting distance, I kept catching the water behind me as I tried to increase the casting distance. So I tried 10-foot rods, and that helped a little bit. And if you're looking at getting a 10-foot rod, I highly recommend Echo's Ion. They have a 6 and 5-weight 10-foot and in their E3 series too. But I later discovered this really awesome system called basically it's a micro skagit head series. Micro skagit heads, or Commando heads is what they're called. OPST makes them, but now a bunch of other companies are making them, including Airflow and Scientific Angler. And the beauty of these things is just how far I can cast, because I can basically just lay the line down in between my lap here, or I can get a stripping basket if I wanted to. I don't have to do a bunch of false casts or nothing. I can simply strip out how much line I want, have just the Commando head. I kind of do a poke out front, one false cast, and then all the line goes out. And I can cast 30, 50 feet, and it's just so beautiful, so simple. You can do like I'm doing today, where I'm fishing an indicator underneath, and underneath that I've got a balanced leech. Or you can just put a straight streamer on there and strip and retrieve that way. Or you can even they have different tips you can put on there to make it sink faster, sink slower. Even floating tips, so if you wanted to fish a dry, you can do that too. Okay. Do a poke. There you go. Now I just gotta figure out what color do they want. They like that pink coral. I got more natural green on here right now. Ooh, there's a hit. Missed it. Dang it. Try that again. I heard some sound up there on the hill and I wasn't paying attention. Let's go right back to where that was. There we go, got it. That didn't take long. So these Commando heads, skagit series lines, it's not unlike a traditional fly line. Oh, I lost him. That was a nice fish. Oh no, there he is. He's just wrapped on a weed. Oh, that's a nice fish. Oh, it's a toad. It's a toad. Oh my god. That thing is a toad. Come here, maybe. Stay on this stuff, stay on this, stay on this, stay on this, stay on this. Oh, come on, get up from underneath there. Here we go. Got him. That is a nice fish. There we go. Good looking little guy. Not bad. Skinny little dude. I think that I'm going to make that one my last fish of the day, and maybe troll in the booby fly and then get to work. Okay guys, I want to take a minute to explain this Commando head skagit, micro skagit setup that I'm using. So traditional fly line, what you're going to have is your backing, which you can see is that just dark blue right here. And then you're going to have your fly line, which includes a running section, a thin section that doesn't carry much weight, the head of the fly line, which carries the weight, and then you have your leader, and then you have your fly. And basically you're casting, on fly line you're casting the line and the fly is going along for the ride. Everything tapers from the head down to the fly so that it carries the weight of the fly forward. Now the micro skagit series or setups are basically the same. The only difference is you'll have, you can see this blue line, this heavy blue line here. This is a 13-foot micro skagit head called a Commando head from OPST. Other companies have them too, including Airflow and Scientific Angler. They even have an integrated one, which I'll talk about in a sec. You see this connection here? That is to my running line. This is Rio's grip shooter. So they have a grippy, a little bit wider orange section that you can use when stripping on 20 feet, and then it runs down to the running line, which is a thinner diameter line with low resistance and low memory. And that's the running line there, and then that runs back into my backing. Other than that, it's just the same. So you have your backing running line that goes up to the Commando head, and then from there you can actually add various tips of various lengths from 5 to 10 foot. Those tips can add buoyancy, those tips can add weight, making your fly sink if you want to fish deeper. Today I was just fishing it very simply. I just had my leader tied directly to my Commando head, and that works great for me. So that's the setup there. I'm throwing this on an Echo 6-weight 9-foot rod, and I'm punching that thing out there without much effort, 30, 50 feet or more, which is really all you need. I'm going to put links to all of these products and the setup below. If you have any questions on setting up your own Commando head rod, just let me know. I can help you out with the weights and stuff like that. I have all the charts and stuff. I can help you reference it. And I'm also going to put links to the kayak I was in today. It's my second time out in it. It turns out it's a really great fly fishing platform. It's got a nice open deck right down in front of the chair. I can pile up my shooting and running line in there, and I have no hang-ups, so I've been pretty happy with that. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this content, be sure and hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps me know that I'm doing the right thing when I see those numbers climb. And I'll see you next time out on the water. Catch lots of fish and enjoy this beautiful fall weather. See ya!